Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Deadeye, Mercenary, Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Sentinel, Mercenary, Deadeye. Deadeye chosen. Sounds good. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing, but for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise. An echo of balance and consequence of your actions.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you are.
But what comes around goes all...
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all...
Ha! Natural selection is all about...
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. For it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. Chop, chop! The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Slash and dash. Finished him off. Hack and slash. Took care of. You can make something from that. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Toxanol built vessels called arcs to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single arc they left behind that we know other arcs traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago. World. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste and, without consideration for the future, mistake. They were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it of spark metal going pew pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Wiped out. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. Now that's loot. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. And he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. How There's no doubt you're the child, and that what LUPA-LUPIN did to your village, your Muma, and... He says it has taken you a long... It was after the attack that the After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the had it... Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a... You're such a good child. The potato people, or you found the NONO's key energy is just what the pens. You'll need a. You handle that. There. One. He says you'd better hurry back to the. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is a. The genetic evolution that occurred after his friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating. Wiz is still repairing his at the end of the northwest route. Noko has tamed the midget and is preparing to take on the hoof puff at the end of the east route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically chap. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted. He what?
Right? Smack that spark out before it starts.
You don't have to be so harsh. It's such a...
Take it out now while it's...
There's always another spark.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support. The Myriad. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world all the same. We ever had one conviction. Want to let the world out of he believes another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's a bridge. Just get over it. A smart foe would lead. made the kill. They've destroyed this area, muddied up what used to be muck, as if it wasn't bad enough before the tribe war began. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war or part of the problem. Let's see. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the WUNG-FU especially, deformed and unfurled. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. They've already got word of an intruder, so he guesses the Sifu must be very interested in meeting you. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101. The wall that separates them from the other side? The wasteland you came from? He guesses the time spent there just left a blank space in your memory, as empty and barren as the wasteland itself. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can... The Sifu says sometimes one memory can... Your Muma invented WUNG-FU. Myriad wants unity between the... If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life. He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribe. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. You need to take the struggle to the enemy, or the enemy will bring it to you. When he wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, WUNG-FU and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so that tells you once you've dealt with the rival's outpost, they passed the point of no return as their word. Seeing Myriad wants you. He remembers your... Anyway, the memories you make with your... Even though... Her understands complete. That's the Myriad Fort. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurled. Much better. Blasting him to bits. Feeling buff. Your reserves are tapped. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Then he wants you to know that if you find yourself going through bad times, you should just keep going. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he's here to give you a helping hand. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what... He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? He says a feeling that you're going to drown is a great reminder of the need to learn how to swim. But you need practice, lots of practice. Great things usually happen to those who never stop trying. He hopes you'll be one of them. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. He won't let anyone know you can't swim. He assumes that's what you meant. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that WUNG-FU is in... You should know, practice makes perfect. She'll see you at the village square. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His own... He was hoping you could help him pick up some... He wonders what usefulness you found. He says whatever it is, he can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to... He appreciates those He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see... Then you... She wants you to grow up and start thinking... That's... You've always followed your own... They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back. He wants to know who you think you are. You'll have... She asks if you're hurt. What happened?
Antoro.
She's there for
Ferena Masalapu.
the most important thing.
Taifaname numa.
It's time to focus on your training now.
Kanaruta. Ferena Masalapu.
She said it before. WUNG-FU. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. Training with Muma will make you... He asks if you could help him too before you... He... He's curious to see what you found. He's all for renewal, and he can work wonders with pretty much anything, and asks if you know. Thinks some... The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. You should take it with you, wear it to practice.
Gendrana mala.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Tropalo.
Hopes you're as...
Volakamono rukna. Apli tono nota. Rohemuch tono.
But there's enough time
Mustiki muhka.
once you...
Andro?
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Asana yotutupu.
That's all she's ever asked of you.
Masamal. Andro?
Been working.
Can't see kototuku.
You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it.
Andro?
Says he's all... Catchy.
That it?
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Andro?
Figuring that out is half the fun.
Taifanamenuma ben nampusa.
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device.
Kanamunta.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA.
Inadabsunka.
You're lucky to have such a fine helper with you.
Domale tuku.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Kamonu.
Everything ends, both good and... Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop LUPA-LUPIN from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight LUPA-LUPIN. There's nowhere to run to this time. The time has come to stand. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. She loves how brave you are, but here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff Hulk's on the loose. Amazing how much that helps.
You leggen col ma me belle peu. No no ki d'equipaggio ki no kidenu.
You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the far...
Dro eku dadrea. Dredlechgo tea. Mes fasot ma no genyaku.
You should hurry there and help them best the outpost.
Brick one and saying.
You can... Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, look, an emergency wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old toxin... The Toxinol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it... Toxin? There must be... Don't forget the past. Learn from it. You're such a luckster. Let's see. We are lonesome animals that spend all our life trying. Never thought I'd see a clothes soaker from the long gone again. It's an up cleaner of unwash, the clean-cut way to unstain. You need to get the pegs lined up to get the clothes soaker rolling. Just a few moves left. You really put a spin on it. You found the whereabouts. The deepest, darkest forest in the land. Sometimes hard to see for all the trees. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more. The Toxanol Corporation used to run chugger-chuggers out of here. They can carry you anywhere you like. Well, anywhere that they go to, and then you can leg it from there. You're on the... A real power blade. Is that a ray of hope? Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. On the home stretch. Bomber bonkers busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. You always find good use for things like that. Let's see. This story needs a hero. Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he... But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. He hopes you remember you've had some use for. Memories from... You still be... He says you should know... Gizmo encourages that.
Fan that flame!
Wait, no! Bright light blinds! It's dangerous!
I've got all the cold sick burns you need.
Oh, do you have to insult me?
I don't have to.
Would like to know if you ever doubt the choices you made on the path that brought you... Suppose... Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seem so centered and so seeking. Thinks that's more than most are. But that's... Gizmo. You should return when you've... Feel like a landing... Looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework.